Okay, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we have been waiting for this moment, and I'm happy to introduce to you Dr. Agnes Kalibata. Dr. Kalibata is the president of the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA, where she leads the organization's efforts with partners to ensure a food secure and prosperous Africa through rapid, sustainable agricultural growth that focuses on building systems required for farmers to access technologies that improve productivity and livelihoods for millions of smallholder farmers in Africa. Well, most of us are familiar with her. Prior to joining AGRA, she was Rwanda's Minister for Agriculture and Animal Resources, MINAGRI, from 2008 to 2014. And last December, we were all excited when she was appointed the UN Secretary General and Special Envoy for the UN Secretary General's Special Envoy for the 2021 Food Systems Summit. So in this capacity, she's going to work with the UN system and key partners to provide leadership, guidance, and strategic direction towards the 2021 Food Systems Summit. So at this point, it is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Agnes Kalibata to offer some closing remarks. Welcome, Dr. Kalibata.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Can you hear me? I'm not muted, right?
Yes, I can.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you so much, Vivian. As you noticed, Vivian, I was here from the beginning. I decided to come and sit in and listen. I have a very strong belief in Africa's youth, in our young people, and what they can do for this continent. So I was excited to listen to all the conversations that we are going on. And the other thing is, I just think it's a very exciting time for people to be young on this continent. The opportunities are immense, as you have seen from what these young people are saying, but also the technologies we live amidst. But also, so are the challenges based on what you all have been saying. So it's a catch-22. We live in a time where we know that we can do so much more, and we have the ability to do so much more, but we are constrained by so many factors, so many things that many of you have talked about, and I'll just touch upon just to refresh our minds, but really most of it you've talked about. But whether it was from what the first panel said, the discussions you were hearing from Wangari, and the fact that she's excited about competing with her fellow youth from a brain perspective rather than a muscle perspective, or whether it is what Gloria said around the business she's running, or whether it is what Twain said around the opportunities she's been able to provide even during COVID times. Africa's young people are thinking and are really working hard. But so is the leadership that is developing among them. It was really exciting to see all of them come forward, from Aline to Yemi to Victor, who was here at AGRA as well. I remember him as a young intern at AGRA. Really amazing people to listen to, and it makes me wonder whether I should still be around or just give them the space and have them lead us to the future, because that's really what we need to be seeing. Africa has an interesting opportunity, therefore, in these young people, but it's also an interesting challenge. The opportunity being that we can use all harness this opportunity that Africa's youth is giving us and really ensure that they are becoming the backbone of our economies. Or we can let them go and be the backbone of other people's economies, as we've seen in many cases. The choices we make here are very critical and very important. And I must say, right now, we are not making a lot of choices. We seem to be in that stalemate stage where we are not moving forward or backward. But what is definitely happening is the number of young people is increasing, but also, really interestingly, the number of skilled young people is increasing. So this is the opportunity that the continent should be harnessing its best, because we do have a huge population of young people. Only 3 out of 10 people that graduate get a job. Just think about it. Then what happens to others? I was in Kigali recently, and I noticed that a lot of young people, a lot of people that ride motorcycles, our graduates, university graduates, right? And the real thing is they have to create jobs for themselves, you know. But does it require all the number of years you spent going to school to be able to ride a motorcycle? Probably not, right? It requires just a good permit of going to a good driving school and riding school so that they teach you what to do. So Africa's leadership has a lot of challenges to ensure that our young people that are coming out that are skilled will get jobs. This will come from how we create a conducive environment for young people, and a lot of countries are trying. I just mentioned Rwanda. Rwanda is doing an amazing job in terms of trying to create an environment that allows young people to grow. So is Kenya, as you've heard from Victor and Wangari. They also have that, there are a number of things that are in place that they can build on. But the opportunities are nowhere near what we need. The need is just so big, and we need to do so much more. When it comes to Africa's women, again, it was really great to listen to how young people are thinking about the differentiation between youth, women, and men. And I learned something from Victor, the identity complex. I had never failed to understand why, in all the work we are doing as AGRA, why only 33% of the women show up when we are talking about how to use the mobile telephone, how to use these technologies to advance how farming is working. When we are talking about a new variety of seed that is available that could double yields, you only have 33% of these women show up. And I was asking myself, I've been trying to crack this, and you just helped me understand that there's actually this crisis behind everything that is happening, in addition to this identity crisis, in addition to all the other challenges they are facing. So it's really, really a time when we need to double down on on the opportunities we will be providing for women. I'm glad that we have this meeting happening between CGIAR, IFAD, and African Union. I know African Union has done so much in terms of putting in frameworks that will help move this perspective forward, help move the continent forward, whether it is the Youth Decade of Action, and the Marabu decision on youth. There's a number of things that have already been put in place that we can build on. And we do have a number of partners as well, including MasterCard Foundation, AFDB, and several other partners that do have strong programs on the continent. But these programs, again, are nowhere near enough. We need country-owned, country-led initiatives that will take a broader country perspective and be able to bring African youth on board and be able to recognize the differentiation between African youth and women. I want to congratulate CGIAR for the work they do to keep Africa's and many other countries' technologies and technological needs on top of where we should be, because as far as I'm concerned, we are not consuming or absorbing enough of the materials that are being generated from CGIAR. And I was just reading a report on SMEs, on the continent, and I just noticed that most of the biggest complaints that African SMEs have from an agricultural perspective is low productivity of African farmers. And when you ask them what you would like done, number one is they want better productivity for farmers. Now, this is a combination of things. This is a combination of access in the right place, and this is part of what we're working on as AGRA. And this is a combination of reach that comes from governments being able to put in place a conducive environment for private sector to take these things and run with them. So the partnerships that are needed here are immense, to build on the work of the CGIAR to ensure that not just yield improving technologies, but also resilient technologies are coming out, and when they come out, they do get to farmers in a good time, that they are focused on the fact that these people want better yields in their hands. That's the only reason they are farming. I just forgot to mention that, by the way, youth are farming in Africa. We've confirmed that as AGRA. Of the 8.9 million people that we work with, 50% are youth below 35. And I know IFAD has confirmed this, and I also read another document from Michigan State University that confirms this. So youth are farming. The question is, what is the type and quality of that farming, and what are they getting from that farming? Are they able to create the next generation of people that is well fed, that is well educated, that really positions us as a continent to be in a better place. So in a nutshell, I mean, there's so much we can say, and I'll not go into the challenges because you've already highlighted them. I'll just zero down on some of the things we are doing as AGRA. Well, in the work that we do in supporting governments to strengthen the policy environment, but also the investment environment, we've been working on helping them design investment pipelines, what we call flagships. And for example, in Malawi and Mozambique already have a countrywide flagship that is going to be about investing in women and youth. So these two countries are already willing to borrow money to ensure that they have a nationwide flagship that allows to borrow money to ensure that they impact the lives of women and youth by creating job opportunities. We want to do the same across the countries we are working with. We want to see what is working better, and we want to increase productivity for the agricultural sector. That's why we are investing now in what we call village-based advisors as businesses and business opportunities. These are people, many of you talked about the lack of knowledge and lack of information. These are people that would be out there ensuring that farmers have access to the latest yield improving technologies because they are linked to agro dealers, another area we are investing in, but also because they have the knowledge of what needs to be happening and they are closing that distance between businesses and the farmer. We have also just recently invested in Value for Her, recognizing fully well that women SMEs are struggling. We learned this from the work we are doing with Generation Africa, which is something we do at AGRF, where we give women opportunities to come forward. I mean, young people opportunities to come forward. But we have noticed in our work that women businesses have unfair disadvantage that we need to help them overcome around land, around financing, and so many other things like you have said. We just have to keep working at it. We just have to work with all of you and keep working on finding solutions. So we are committed to working with IFAD, which has been funding a lot of this work with governments. We are committed to working with CGIAR, whose really shoulders we've been standing on when it comes to taking varieties to farmers. And we are committed to working with the African Union, which designs the appropriate frameworks for these countries and really provides leadership on how we should be moving forward with this. From a food systems perspective, now putting on my food systems hat, we are 100% committed to working with young people. We have designed what we call action tracks, and these action tracks, you will see that the vice chair in each action track, we have provided for a vice chair that is youth. We have a youth engagement forum, and we have an open data system that allows people to engage and have dialogue in any way they want. And we would like to make sure, and this is a call to you all, we would like to make sure that you get your voice heard. You get your voice heard because as our food systems are challenged today to support our lifestyles and the things we've come up with that our ecosystem is not able to support, we have to worry more about the future of our generations rather than us. Our job has really been around probably creating more challenges to the environment. Not that we intended to, but because that's the production systems we're in, that's the environment you're coming from. But the opportunity here is to use that very production system to correct some of those challenges, to ensure that it's more resilient, to ensure it's more inclusive, and to ensure that young people do define where we are going. And just listening to the three of you right now, I have no question in my mind that we definitely have a crop of young people that is prepared to define the future of this continent. And I completely believe that our lives are in safe hands with you all. So thank you for inviting me again. I look forward to working with you, whether it's in the work that we are doing at AGRA, or working with you in the work that we are doing in the Food Systems Summit, to ensure that your voices get heard, that you differentiate yourselves as young men and women that have a view of where the world should be going. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kalibata, for those inspiring comments. Indeed, youth are farming, as you say, but that question that you have asked, what is the quality of their farming and what are they getting out of it? That is quite profound. And even your point on partnerships being crucial to taking and bringing technologies to scale. That's also very vital. So we want to thank you so much for honoring our invite, and we will definitely continue to engage with AGRA, with the AGRF, and even with the Food Systems Summit. Thank you so much for being in this session.